Pues, dos, uno, and good afternoon, everybody. Hello, welcome to Storytime. And wow, we got a bunch of folks here, a couple extra folks that we normally don't see. We've got Gaz here, we've got Tom here. Of course, we know why Tom and Gaz are here, and we've even got Andy here. Just in time. I thought since Andy's here, let's start talking about NFL football, shall we? Let's see how quickly it takes him to disappear. Oh, he stayed. Okay. Well, you know what? I should wait for the lag, right? Wait for that to get out. So anyway, as you know, in addition to our, here we go. That's the reaction I was looking for. I love it. I love it. Okay. You never let me down, Andy. Yeah, it was a great week. John's not real happy with you right now, Brandon. His Chargers lost to the Cowboys, of course, so John's not a happy camper today. All right, so I need, ready, I have to turn your volume down because I'm hearing me. Okay, so you should be able to hear me, but yeah, okay. Okay, no, you're fine. You're fine now, okay? All right. Okay, cool. Let's not push Andy on it, Brandon. We'll wait. As you know, we are going to have special guests today because today's show is going to help kick off the 2-year celebration of Tom and Gaz's KFL radio thingy. And as a matter of fact, let me see. What did I have here? You know what? Did I put that in the wrong spot? I thought I put that in the wrong down spot. I think I did. Yeah, it did. Okay, so we'll have to just bring it back this way. Hang on. Yeah. Reflex action, I put it in my live window for my music shows, and that's not where I wanted it. So let's go ahead and bring it on here. There we go. There we go. So this could very easily turn into the Tom and Gaz extravaganza, but I'll be calling Tom in just about a moment or two, so stand by, Tom. And he and Gaz can tell us all about this. I assume, because I've seen your show a couple times, I assume that you guys have been doing it more than 2 years because you guys got a synergy and synergy and energy, and it's just a great show. I'm just sorry I can't catch you guys more often, honestly. But you do a fantastic job, and I don't know how much of a sample of that we'll get a chance to see here because Skype is such a lousy medium for, sharing like music and video and stuff. Maybe we should have done this on Discord. Anyway, we'll see how things go. So without further ado, why don't we get right to the business at hand? So we'll have time left to go over those NFL scores that are going to drive Andy away. Let's see. All right. I'm going to. Okay, here we go. All right. I didn't test this. I should make sure my settings are right. Let me make sure. Good. Everything looks good. Okay. All right. Hey, Tom, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey, there he is. All right. Okay, let me bring you on screen. Stand by. I have to make some.
Bring Gaz in.
All right. I'm going to adjust my screen there. And.
Participants. Gary. Add. There we go.
All right, so I'm going to create a window here for you and Gaz are going to be appearing together. So let me create a new screen for that. Bring you guys in. Get everything lined up here properly. All right, perfect.
Gaz.
I see Gaz. Okay, this will be good. All right. I need a bigger screen. Oh man, I need a bigger screen or a second screen. That's what I need. Okay, let's see. Get you guys together there. There we go. There we go. All right. They got you both. Okay. All right. Okay. So should I just shut up and let you guys tell us all about the 2-year anniversary? I could
Oh, no,
do.
you can ask us questions.
I will.
If you want.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that. So how did you guys start this thing? That's probably everybody from BGRN knows this story, but I'm curious. How did you guys get started? How did you meet? I mean, are you longtime friends, or is this or you just kind of stumble into each other online and say, hey, let's do something together? How did it all start?
Well, believe it or not, so it's 2 years of camcasting. So we've done roughly since 2012. So we've done about 11 years.
Oh wow,
Shoutcast.
Good long time.
Casting.
Yeah.
So it's basically 2012. I used to be a DJ for a youth. I used to be a youth leader. Way back in 2000 odds when I was a young teenager, and I learned how to DJ and that for the community. So I would set up the equipment and basically do a lot of learned my wee craft of DJing. And in 2012, I goes, well, how can you do this online? There must be a way. I wanted to start about my own radio station. So first it was Your Scottish Radio, and then we brought Gary in. Me and Gary have been friends for good 11, 12 years. I met Gary in work, and I brought Gary in and trained him up as a co-host for KFL Radio, and then I managed to set up Gary in his house, and for then we've been doing shows since 2012 in Shoutcast, and for the last 2 years we've been doing shows on what I'll call Camcast. So we still do Shoutcast, but we're hoping to head out of Shoutcast and continue our venture on Camcast. And if Gary, you want to say anything about how your journey started?
First of all, you can hear me, right? Audio's okay?
Yeah.
Yep, we're hearing you okay.
Well, the journey as MCTom, for me, it started obviously knowing Tom from work, good 12 plus years. And one day, it was a sort of a quiet day at work we were having kind of thing. So we were outside. It was a beautiful day. I remember it was a summer's day, actually. It was such a nice, beautiful day. And we were just outside having a chat about stuff, and they asked me if I wanted to try like radio casting and stuff like that, and I was like a little bit kind of maybe because I was quite shy, so I was taken aback by I was like, okay, and then I kind of thought about it, and then I said to him, you know what, we'll give it a bash, we'll give it a try, we'll see how we get on, kind of thing. And so then it became starting making arrangements for me to go to MCTom's for like a Friday or Saturday sort of a thing once a month, and showed me during the day before we started any show how to gonna set up for stuff and all the little traits and stuff like that to get me kind of started in the radio side of things. And it was quite a daunting thing at the time. I was like basically like a deer in front of the headlights. I felt very much out my depth at first. So the first show we did, I missed a lot of cues to come in and say something. I was all over the place, as you know, it's the first show, you'd kind of expect that anyway. But then obviously through time, doing it a little bit more, through months' time goes by, you get a little bit more improvement, you get a little bit more, then a little bit more. And then a year later, I'd say about a year later, MCTom like obviously helped me set up the radio stuff through my side, which meant I could stream on a weekly basis and not just once a month or something, or twice a month. Sometimes we set it up for then, but then it became weekly because I had the ability to start streaming casting on my side. And obviously things developed from there. It grew. You know, we were working hard to try and get more people to come in, sharing it out there with people on social media and Facebook. Mainly more Facebook at that time. And it kind of gradually picked up a little bit. And then it started picking up. Then we got a good few people that we know personally as well as stuff like that to come into the show on a Friday. And they've been there ever since, every Friday without fail, support the show. And then obviously through time, we started getting into the platforming, like platforms like Cam Up Here, and obviously on the other side. And then we started doing the cam casting and stuff like that, which was a totally new experience, but it was kind of nice because we'd meet some nice new people and stuff like that, and it's just a great journey. It's been the last couple of years doing the cam casts, but it's been a great journey overall in the past 11 years doing the whole radio side as well. So it's been very rewarding.
That's very cool. By any chance, do you have a recording of that very first show?
We don't. We actually have a recording, which I'm trying to find, because I'm very bad when it comes to folder management. We don't have actual recordings because I'm hunting to get these.
Yeah.
We did a recording. Our first show was in October 2 years ago, and we did our first show with Twilight FM, Andy,
Yeah.
and we were doing silly dancing,
Mm-hmm.
and so I have tried to look for that. It is in my computer somewhere. I will find it for Friday, but I don't have any clips just now to give out to apologise. But
no, that's all right. That's okay. I was just curious. I was just curious as to whether or not you had that still, because I've been recording everything. Just about all my shows. I lost a bunch of files from the early stuff that I did back in 2006, which probably is unlistenable because that was like just audio only. But I've got video clips going all the way back to 2013, I think. And what they provide is like a learning experience. You see all your mistakes and you see, okay, you don't want to do that again. You don't want to do that again. And of course, I'm still, all these years later, still making mistakes. So did you guys have instant chemistry? I mean, from that first show, or you just knew things were going to click, or did it take a while? Because I know, Gaz, you mentioned that at first you were missing cues and everything. How quickly do you think you got into the swing of things and you knew that something special was happening?
I think once, the chemistry with me and Gaz, we just batted eyes off each other. This is the humour that you get with us, Ruben. At first, it can be daunting because all you have is, I started off with a laptop, a small guitar, the old guitar pedal mixers that you had, and when first off, you're learning your curve. You're starting from zero music, downloading whatever you can download. Back then, it was LimeWire, torrent.
Statute of limitations has run out, so you're okay.
That's it. And once you got a microphone, and back then it was a headset. It wasn't microphones such as they still had them out, but
right. Hang on, I'll be right back. I'll bet I can find something that you might find familiar. Be right back. Keep talking. Be right back.
It was once you get a microphone in front of your face, you're like, now you wouldn't believe that, guys. The way nowadays we've got the confidence to go, let's go, and all that stuff. But back then it was like, and that was Elton John with blah, blah, blah. And the next song is We Were Microphone Shy. It took Gary, maybe you can explain how long it took you. It took me ages to build into be what I am today. So I'll let Gary describe his first experience and how it's got you to this point, Gary, with confidence and stuff.
Yeah, so like I said before, when I first started in the shows, it was such a daunting prospect, and I find it difficult to kind of verbally, put my own stamp on things, if you will, on the show. And it was very much just like as MC Tom said. So it would be like the next song's a wee bit of Elvis Presley. It would just be that kind of the standard radio talk, if you will. It wasn't like the way it is now, where it's a little bit more chatty. It's a little bit more kind of humorous, and we sing through songs, and sometimes we get told to shut up when we're singing, or if we talk too much or whatever. Now, that's the difference between there and where we are now. Now we get told to shut up because we're talking too much. So, difference, the contrast between before and now. I think it probably took me a good 4-5 months or so to kind of get into a stride, a groove, to kind of find my feet. But I did have the bug right away. The minute I did a show, I was only meant to do the first show that I did. I was only meant to do one show that weekend, and I was meant to go back on the Saturday. And I ended up, it became straight away, I stayed an extra night to do an extra show on the Saturday night. So there became a bug, and it started off, and it was like, this is great. I never thought I'd ever venture into a platform where I'd be like doing radio and playing music and chatting to people, meeting some new people, and just all that stuff. And it was just like, this is amazing, this is weird. And obviously back then, it was just a case of, when listening to my radio was the platform I used back then, it was basically, when you get a comment, it was basically Facebook Messenger or on the like page that we've got. There wasn't like a group chat thing where people could join together in. There is one in Caster, but it can be quite difficult because a lot of trolls and stuff like that, and
sure,
we had to just remove it, and that's no longer an option. It was just a frustrating thing. They went, you know what, just kind of keep it simple. And then we grew into the away past Caster, but we still do it, obviously. But when we grew into obviously where we are now, you meet so many nice people, and you have the luxury and option to basically change the platform where you can have no guests or no private accounts and stuff or whatever, right? And you can just have people come in with an account. They have to have a legit account before they say anything, and it's totally different. You're in control. It feels like you have the power, and if anybody starts anything, you can just kind of go, right, you've said a bit too much. You're being a bit cheeky tonight. you're on your 3 strikes. So it feels more at home now compared to where it was years ago, and the contrast and the difference in both MC Tom and myself is massive.
Cool. Okay. I gotta ask you guys how we're gonna find out just how far you go back. Okay. I've got something here. We're gonna take you off screen just for a moment, and I'm gonna come full screen. Did you ever use something like this? Does this look like a microphone you might have used in the past? Or do you not go back that far?
Believe it or not, I used a Poundland microphone. A Poundland microphone was Cool for Radio's first mic until we upgraded to the Microsoft headset and then to the condenser mic.
I found this on eBay, and this is almost exactly like the very first microphone I used when I started doing internet radio back in 2006. The microphone I got, it came with a Sound Blaster sound card that I had installed in my computer, and there's like this cheesy little microphone. I was like, well, what the heck do I do with this? And I thought, when I started doing internet radio, when Rick Edwards talked me into giving it a try, I thought, well, I got a microphone, and I used that. I used that for at least 5 years before I upgraded my gear.
Wow.
But then back then I was only doing a show once a month, so it was easy. It's like, what the heck? Okay. And it was for 2 hours. So it was just kind of like, okay, the microphone's there. I saw no need to upgrade anything. And that's what I used for the longest time.
I think, what put us off back then with camcasting was the cam. If you would cam yourself, it would be like glitch, glitch, glitch.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
that put us right off. And
yeah.
we used to thought you had to buy the high-end camera to get a smooth cast, but microphones back in the day, such as A-ones, I don't know how we got through it.
Yeah, I think the internet connection was more the key than the quality of the cam, because I had my first webcam was a really crappy thing that I bought at it might have been like a Walmart or somewhere like that. And no, it was a Radio Shack. You guys probably didn't have Radio Shack stores over in Scotland, but Radio Shack was huge here in the U.S. all the way through the early 2000s. And it was an electronics store where you could buy just about anything. And I bought this really, really cheap. It wasn't even like 720p. I think it might have been 320, resolution, standard definition resolution. And I did not record any of those videos. It was during a brief time when I was in another state, in Ohio, on my way out here to California. And boy, I don't even know if I want to see those shows that I did, because the stuff I started recording back in 2013 were pretty bad. So you've been doing this a long time. Mostly, I'm assuming like audio only, and then you finally got into video just relatively recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So audio for a good 10 to 11 years.
Yeah.
Gary does the maths when it comes to anniversary, when it comes to all over.
Yeah.
Like anniversary when it comes to when we done KFL Radio. But we've been doing, I'll say, shoutcast audio for 11 years, continuing, but we're hoping to give that up to continue on and just have it camcasting.
Sure.
But we've been doing camcasting for 2 years straight. It was meant to be a one-off, and we started on Cam Up.
Yeah.
And we did do in 2008. I did start doing monthly casts on True TV, which I don't think that site exists anymore. And then we came over to Cam Up, and we done a few casts, but we never stuck to it. And then we went back to audio cast, and I took quite a lot of time off.
Yeah.
And when we came back, I decided one night, and it was October 2 years ago. I don't know the date, but we came on. Then I goes, right, I say to Gary, I'm going to do a video cast. We'll go back and Cam Up. So we knew the Cam Up still existed. And we goes, right, we'll go back to Cam Up. And that one night turned into now to be 2 years. And the first listeners was the BGRN network. They all just came piling in, including Andy.
Yeah.
And it was a great night that night, and we decided, right, we could be going somewhere with this, because it was meant to be just a one-night time, then go back into audio casting each Friday night, and maybe do a wee Cam Up now and again. But we decided to push it each week and go, well, that worked well. One night, well, I was expecting maybe just our regular listeners, but we weren't expecting a big hello, made to feel welcome. And it was the BGRN network, and then that's how I got to know Andy, DTR, and the rest. And it was the bestest welcome we could ever get was on Cam Up, and this is how we're celebrating it, where we started this Friday was Cam Up TV, and we're going to have casters coming in from BGRN Network, also over in the dark side, as I like to call it, iVlog.
Cool. Yeah.
And,
no doubt Andy has tried to convince you that iVlog is better, right? How often does he do that with you guys?
He did say come over and try iVlog, so we did do it, but we keep casting in free platforms. Caster FM, which is an audio shoutcast, iVlog, and Cam Up TV, and I've lost my place now. But it was good that first night 2 years ago, because I would say phrases such as "Let's go, are you ready?" And I never knew these phrases will become the catchphrase of KFL Radio. And if it wasn't for Brandon and most of the people with the BGRN network, they would go, "Let's go," and try and imitate us. Still say Brandon has the worst Scottish accent I've ever heard, but he does get a good "Let's go."
I have heard him try, and no, I'm not going to try it because I'll only embarrass myself. No, but I mean, hats off to the BGRN gang because I mean, Brandon talked me into doing this, and I never thought this was going to take off anywhere. Some people would say, "Well, has it taken off at all, Juan?" But I love doing this, and BGRN, the BGRN gang supports you wherever you go, whatever you do, and I really do appreciate that, guys and gals. Pat yourselves on the back, give yourselves a round of applause because Tom, Gaz, and I are eternally grateful for your support. We do appreciate you.
Yeah, we are indeed.
Oh, definitely.
I'll expect a check for that, Brandon. A nice sizable check. Oh, that's because I'm hiding behind Gaz and Tom because they're the stars of the show, Brandon. Here, I could bring them in and trick me. Hold on. Let me see. All right, you want to see me? God only knows why. All right, there you go. You want to see me there? You can see me. Here I am. No, I thought the focus should be on Tom and Gaz today because it's coming up on it's Friday, right? The 20th. So the big 2-year anniversary, and that's going to be here on Cam Up or alone or elsewhere as well.
We did decide to do Cam Up and Vibe.
Okay,
but I decided because we started in Cam Up. And basically, that was 2 years ago. We done with Cam Up. I'm getting mixed up. Because we started in Cam Up, I decided for that one night only, it'll be Cam Up only.
Okay.
Because this is where we started, was Cam Up. So it's better to do a show and rather than have, because that can be very, KFL can be very busy on a Friday night with requesting that. Yeah. And as I remember you said once, Ruben, when you're doing 3-4 platforms, it's hard to keep up with the chat.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize how, as you said, it
gets a little tricky. It gets a little tricky, because I just did, my Monday night show last night and I had 4 chats going and, of course there was activity in only 3 of them. But the week before I had activity in all 4 chats. It can be a little tricky keeping up, and especially if you're taking requests, it's a challenge, but that's part of the fun for me. I don't know about you, but for me, it's part of the fun is being able to try to test yourself to see if you can keep up. And I'm starting to fail more as I get older. I'm here to tell you.
Trust me. It's a nightmare. No, a nightmare. It's good that it keeps you busy, keeps you on your toes.
It does.
It's keep sticking to one platform, one chat.
Yeah,
will be better because I'll be on Skype call with some of the casters and having games and stuff like that. And there's going to be prizes on Friday night. And just to quickly say, thank you, Aaron. He's taking Friday night time off for his Friday night flagship to let us do our show on Friday night. So very appreciate Aaron.
Cool.
Talking about Friday night, we're going to be doing cash prize bingo. So, and the one thing I ask you guys to get is a pen and paper, and that's it. And we're going to do some prizes, other prize games that night, courtesy of KFL Radio. Also, courtesy of DTR Online with the prize bingo. And it'll be a good night, and I hope to see you all there. It'll be brilliant. Lots of music, fun. See who wins a prize that night, and it'll be brilliant. I think that's everything I can say about Friday this now.
Yeah. So what time does that show start? It starts at what time do we have that starting? It's starting at 8 p.m. UK time.
Yep.
See how I sneaked that in there?
Yeah. It starts at 8 p.m. UK time with DJ Gaz warming up the show till 10:30. Then we'll do this, we call it the switcheroony. So Gaz will switch off and I'll continue the show, and then I'll bring Gaz in on Skype with me, and then we'll start doing the calls, the bingo. I've got it all scripted out, and then after 12 o'clock a.m. UK time, we'll leave it to open calls because I know some, like Josh and that, doesn't come in till a bit late, and they don't know when they're coming in. So I believe it to open calls. So for other DJs to have their slot in the show. So it'll be warm up from 8 p.m. UK time to 10:30 with Gary. So everyone could come in, have a coffee or a beer, warm up.
Cool.
And at 10:30 switch over, and then the show, basically the fun begins. It'll begin from 8 o'clock as well.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's good. It's going to be a blast. See, 8 o'clock. That's on Friday. Yeah, I should be able to make that, because I think if I'm correct, that's wait. Let me check. Oh wait. No, you know what? I have another medical appointment on Friday. Dang it! I may be late, but I think I can be there. Yeah, because I think you start when I have to be sitting in a doctor's office waiting for them to get to me eventually. So, but I will be able to pop in later. So for sure, most definitely.
I'll be brilliant, and if you like to join us and call, you can.
I might do that. What the heck? If I get there in enough time, I just might do that. Pop in and say hello. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So cool. What now? I there's one thing I need to ask, and it has to do with Skype, because I remember seeing one of your early shows on Cam Up, and I'm presuming, unless I'm wrong, unless you guys were like in separate rooms in the same studio or something, I'm presuming you guys do this on Skype all the time. Is that right? When you're...
on you go, pal.
But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Do you do your shows via Skype when you two are? I mean, you do them like what we're doing right now? You call Gaz on Skype, and then the two of you just go from there.
Well, our normal shows consist of a Friday night. As Gary does it through Shoutcast,
okay,
and I'll bring Gary in through my computer, all the sounds and stuff through my computer. We did do a Skype once or twice during the last couple of years.
Okay.
And then Gary's came down to my house once, and we call it the mechanical glove night, because me and Gary were... The funny story was me and Gary was... poor Gary gets bullied off of me. The funny story is Gary gets... Gary came up here and we were doing a show together. Yeah. And we done it in Cam Up, and I wear marigold gloves because for washing soap. Yes, guys. And for washing dishes and that. Right. And I couldn't find them that night, and I was drunk, and I was going to do the dishes, and then I put on mechanical rubber gloves, and I'm sitting next to Gary, and I'm drunk as a skunk, and Gary's sitting next to me. Yeah. And here's me putting on these blue rubber gloves. Gary's sitting there going, "What the hell is going on here?" And then next minute, here's the chat going, "What the hell is going on here?" And I'm like, I'm just going to do the dishes. I forgot what I was doing, and I forgot the camera was looking at me. The chat just went wild, like, why is Tam snapping 2 pairs of surgical gloves? So it was funny as hell. Poor Gary gets it next to me. Every time we do a show together, poor Gary gets it. He gets it.
That's funny.
No, we've done a few Skype calls before, if we're bringing Andy in or me and Gaz like do a show together, but mostly it's split times. We'll do me early shift, Gary late shift, and then we'll swap each week. And people still get confused about that. They're like, who's on tonight? And it's like, do you not remember last week it was me first, then Gary? No, it's Gary first, then me. I think we just like to play with people's minds each week.
There you go. There you go. Keep the audience on its toes, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
The reason I asked that is because I was curious about music transmission, because when I was doing Studio B, we tried to do co-hosting things on Skype, and the person who's doing the streaming needs to play the music because that's where it's going to sound best. But for some reason, we had this crazy notion that, the Skype audio could handle it. And no, it doesn't. If you play music over Skype, it's worthless. And I thought maybe you had found a secret that I need to write down.
Secret I only know is take noise deduction.
Okay, yeah.
Off a Skype, and I use a thing called Voice Meter Banana.
Oh yeah.
That is a godsend.
Okay.
I don't even need this mixer. I can fling that in the bin and use
a
microphone.
Yeah.
And Voice Meter Banana, I can tell Skype to go into one channel, and I can push all my sounds through to the other channel. Andy's done a show with me, and I've pushed all the sounds through to him.
Okay.
The only problem is I tell people that night, turn down your volume for the headphone because I like to blast it.
Right.
People don't realise until they go and Skype with me, and I go, right, here comes the music, and they're like, holy crap! But
that's great.
I tell people to turn the noise. What's it called? Could someone give me a noise deduction? No, I forget the name of it. Noise cancellation.
Noise cancellation.
And I think Skype works a wee bit well.
Gotcha.
I've not had any complaints since, except for when me and Andy did Discord, and that was a nightmare.
So are you using Macs or Windows machines?
We both use Windows machines.
Using Windows machines. Okay. Yeah.
Gary uses a Windows 7.
Okay. Yeah.
Still slugging.
Little long in the tooth, that Windows 7 machine, isn't it?
Still in the dark ages.
Yeah, the funny thing about this is that now, see, I overspent on my computer, and sometimes I wonder why, because it gives me fits. But you don't really need to make a huge expenditure in hardware to make all this work. I mean, just with the right, machine, the right software, the right hardware, associated with the microphones, mixers, etc., whatever, and you can make this work. If you're just doing it, say, streaming to one site, if you're not a maniac like me who streams to 4 sites twice a week, you can make it work with less equipment, and it works well. So a Windows 7 machine, I mean, if it works, it works. That's all that matters.
Brandon says antique, Gary.
Yeah, Brandon would say that.
That'll be worth something then.
I totally agree. Like, for us, I do all the hard work. So Gary's getting it easy now until we sort stuff over at his. Just now we're technical aspect. So it's easy. All you need is a free software. OBS is a godsend, not XSplit.
I guess I'll just go walk into the next room here. That's how I get to do 4 streams twice a week. XSplit, damn it. Hey, I got a half-price deal on a lifetime license. If I hadn't done that, I'd probably be using OBS myself with the multi-stream plugin. They had a sale, damn it. I'm a sucker for a sale. What can I tell you?
Oh, well, OBS you can get free.
Yes, I know. But unfortunately, back then, Studio B kind of painted me in a corner because they were streaming to multiple video sites, and at the time, OBS was still just one site only. So I thought, I guess I better do this. And then they had to have price sale. And that was it for me in OBS. I've tried it. I like it. I mean, it's got a lot of great features. And the best part is it's free. It is free. You can't beat free. And it works. It works very well. It's debatable as to which interface is more user-friendly. I think XSplits is. OBS users think OBS is, but I think it's all comes down to what you're used to, really.
I totally agree. Like I've kind of maybe moving from OBS to Prism, like Studio. It's just the same, but I always look for new softwares. I've got OBS still sticking about, but it's like we try and keep the show fresh. We try and keep with technical aspect, with scenes and stuff. I don't like to keep the same scene. I like to create a new scene, be a little bit creative, and it's all good. A lot of people do use just a camera and that, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
I like to be more creative. I like to keep Cool Flow fresh. Maybe every once a month I'll change the scene.
Yeah.
And people come on and go, all right, I like your new scene. You've changed it and stuff. So it's keeping the Cool Flow fresh when it comes to different scenery, different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And Christmas, we'll do a good Christmas background. And Halloween, I'm working on something. And Gary Gary has a nickname for the BGRN network because he fell asleep during one of his shows. He's been branded it since, and his nickname is from DJ Gaz to DJ Sleepy. So Gary can lie and sleep all day when I'm the busy man, but not for long, I tell you. I'll be handing everything over to Gary, but like, oh.
Brandon, XSplit is not that much of a resource hog. But then, like I said, I've got this overkill machine that falls apart on me every 3 months, which is the downside to buying an overkill machine sometimes, or buying the wrong brand of overkill machine. That's what it is. I should have bought something other than, you know what? I'll be honest with you. If I had bought what I really wanted to buy, I would have bought a Mac. There, I said it. But I've been using Windows PCs for so long, it's too late for that. But I still remember back in 1984, before all of you were born, actually Debbie would have been a young kid. She might have been starting kindergarten by then. I sat in a Sears Business System store with the very first Apple Macintosh, the little 9-inch screen. And I started fooling around with it. The salesman said, hey, sure, play around with it, because I was working in advertising for Sears at the time. And I thought, oh, my God, this is the most amazing little machine. I should buy one. How much is it? $2,500. Never mind, And then Sears, shortly after that, put PCs on everybody's desk. And they were IBM PCs. And my IT guy, who was Rick, who runs Studio B, says, hey, you could connect to the office from home if you buy your own computer. It's like, really? So I bought my own Windows-compatible PC, and that was the end of the story. Otherwise, I would have bought, if I had the $2,500, I'd have bought that Mac, and I'd be an Apple guy today.
I've used a Mac, and I hated it.
You hated it? Lots of people,
hated it.
Yeah, you know what it is? Again, it has to do with what you're used to. Like, I used Android phones for 10 years. And my dear Reddy, who's watching the show right now, she's been using iPhones forever. But she is not the most technical savvy person in the world. She will admit that to you. If she can hear me, she will admit that she's not the most tech savvy person. So I'm not insulting her. She might want to slap my face anyway, but I'll take the chance. And so I bought an iPhone so I could help her get comfortable with her iPhone. And then I thought, well, now she knows the iPhone fairly well. I'll get her an iMac, because then she'll have a computer with a larger screen, which has a similar interface.
I admit.
See, she admits it. I appreciate your honesty. But you know what? You do better than you think, okay? You do better than you think. So I bought this stuff to help her, but then I realized, I still prefer Windows PCs. I still prefer Android phones. But I've learned the Mac systems, iOS and Mac OS enough to where I'm not dangerous. And my most recent expenditure, my most recent extravagance here, let me come back here. I'm going to come full screen here, which means I need to, what do I need to do here? I need to fade you guys out again. Okay. I just bought this during Amazon's big sale. This is an iPad. This is a 9th generation iPad. The most amazing display I've ever seen on a tablet, and this is the cheap one. And it performs just like an iPhone or an iMac. Go figure. And where's my Skype window, guys? Bring it back in here. There we are. Oops, that's the wrong one. All right, here we go. There we go. All right.
When it comes to technology, it's all good. Like now, I've got an iPhone and I'm so used to Android.
Yeah.
iPhone's actually quite easy. It's the I call it Macintosh.
Yeah.
The Apple Macintosh computers.
Yeah.
Or the worst computer I've ever seen come out now is the Chromebooks.
Oh yeah, those are pretty bad.
My partner's boy, Dylan, he had one, and I was like, Dylan, throw that out the window.
Yeah,
and it's great because I feel like when you get older,
yeah,
like I'm the technical person when it comes to if Gary has a problem, I'm on.
Yeah,
but now I'm like getting to my old age. Gary's like, Tam, I've had a problem. So I go, right, I come on TeamViewer or AnyDesk. And then I sit there and I try and solve the problem.
Yeah.
And then I used to be fast thinking and know how to fix the problem.
Yeah.
And then Gary comes up with a solution to the problem and went, Gary, what the hell are you trying to outdo me? I go, I'm getting old. How did I not think of that? I'm like old age.
Tom, wait till you get to my old age. Things really start to slow down. You wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, is it morning? All right, wait, who am I? Yeah, it gets to that point.
Sometimes I can sit there and go, I know what I'm doing, but your mind goes into a total freeze.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easily happens.
Gary, like, I've taught him everything I should know, and Gary's picked up the good technical side of stuff because I always say self-teach yourself. And there's good videos for YouTube out there and stuff like that. And a lot of people put it in their heads that I cannot do this. But when you start to self-teach yourself, you start to go, oh, I thought I couldn't do this, but now I can do it.
Yeah.
And then you get more advanced and advanced.
Yeah, once you start getting the hang of it, it becomes easier to learn the new stuff. You just get a basic, framework in place and say, okay, yeah, I'm starting to see how all this is working. And then it becomes easier and easier to get to the more advanced stuff, the trickier stuff.
Exactly.
To the point where, like in your case with Gaz, the student becomes the teacher. I've had that happen to me, believe me. It's like, because when it came to doing this stuff, Rick was my mentor, my teacher. And now that Rick is getting older and kind of slowing down, I don't know. Rick, are you lurking there? I could say something else to get me in trouble. It's like I find myself, lending him advice, giving him advice and helping him with stuff in the way he used to help me in the beginning. So it all comes full circle.
Oh, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Once you get older, like us, Ruben, it's like it goes out the window, all the technical stuff.
It does. I have to stop and think. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah. Who am I? Yeah. Well, this has been great, guys. I don't know what else you want to add. I was hoping we might get a little flavor of the actual show, but I know you're saving that for Friday, right? Any sneak peeks you might have?
I don't have any sneak peeks just now. It's
okay.
just we do it off the cuff. I think the first part of the show is scripted because we're just trying to get everyone in time.
Yeah.
And as I said before, all I say is bring a pen and paper that night. You will need it if you want to win a prize.
Yeah.
Cash prize bingo. Play a game of bingo. There will be other games that I've got lined up, different prizes.
Very cool.
And it's it'll be off the cuff, but scripted first couple of hours so we can get warmed up, get the first few callers in.
Right. Yeah.
And then after that, it's away we go. Let's do it. And so I don't know how Friday night's going to pan out. But hopefully it'll be a brilliant night and brilliant 2-year anniversary, and everyone will have fun.
I have a feeling they will. I have a feeling we all will. I think it's going to be a great night. I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty sure I won't be there early because of that doggone appointment. Maybe I should reschedule it, but I will be there at some point. Looking forward to it. I'll just pop right in, and I might call in. I might try to play one of those bingo games or something if that's still going on. I will probably suck at it because ask Brandon about the Name That Tune stuff that he does on his show. I'm no good at that. I've never been any good at it. And besides, when it comes to the Name That Tune on BGRN, I think it's rigged. I think Brandon just puts in questions or tunes that he knows Aaron's going to have the answer for because it makes it easier for him scoring wise. Okay, let's see. What does Aaron know? Yeah, he knows the Beatles. Yeah, we'll do a Beatles Name That Tune. Okay, all Beatles songs. Aaron will get all that right, and then I don't have to worry about who else is going to get points. Then Art trips him up because Art gets 2 or 3 of them right. He's like, oh, geez.
Oh, definitely. Like I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I bet Aaron and Name That Tune.
Yeah.
I don't think he was happy. So I think there will be revenge for Aaron on Friday night. I think he's going to hold all that anger and revenge that I bet him and call me out in it in Skype. And one thing me and Gary has been talking about, we cannot wait to get Josh on Skype because we've got to rip right into him. He doesn't know what he's coming. I think Brandon's going to fire him after that night.
Oh, really? Okay, then I need to be there. I do.
A good firing.
Well, if you can somehow hold that off until I get there, I want to see that in person. This has been really cool. This has gone beyond expectations. I really appreciate this, guys. I'm glad you suggested this, Tom, because I always wanted to have the opportunity to talk to you guys about how you do your shows, because I remember the first show I saw with you two working together. I was like totally blown away. You guys are so good at what you do.
Thank you.
Oh, definitely, and thank you for having us on. It's a happy mean to come on to Storytime, but it is I've like family life takes over at times, so there is a lot of times that I've been with the family and that, and a couple of months ago my partner lost her 15-year-old son.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
She's still going through emotions of that just now, and so it's more I was trying to juggle family and stuff, so but it's good that I managed to get on tonight, and
glad you did. Glad you were able to.
Very appreciated, and will always be a supporter to the BGRN network and all the other casters that are out there. And I was going to say something else, but it just went out my head.
That's all right. Well, you know what? I mean, count on this. You know you're going to get the BGRN gang, because they're just a very, very supportive bunch of guys and gals. I really do appreciate that. I do, because they come to my music shows. God knows why. It's like, yeah, he's playing more of that old folk stuff. Jeez. But they come. They do. Thank God Aaron's a Beatles fan. At least he can appreciate some of the old fart stuff I play. But
I know Aaron's a big Beatles fan.
Oh yeah. I think he knows more about the Beatles than the Beatles do. It's like I would put him up against Ringo and Paul in a Beatles trivia contest, and I'll bet you Aaron would win. I didn't know you knew that, Aaron. I don't know who the hell that was supposed to be. My bad Beatles impersonation.
See, when you said about energy, I think we put we try and put 110% energy into our shows.
Yeah.
A lot of people, including yourself, says that we're so energetic.
Yeah.
And we've had really a lot of people say to us, Tam, I've had a bad day. Gaz, I've had a bad day. But you brought us back up.
It does make a difference. Yeah.
It makes a difference. And even though sometimes we could be feeling like crap.
Oh, yeah.
Or push.
Yeah.
And I think it's because after that, I don't know about Gary. Gary can quickly say that, but after my show, my throat's killing me because I'm doing catchphrases like,
sure.
Let's go! Stuff like that.
Yeah, that'll take its toll.
And I don't know about you, Gary, after a night show, but I'm floored.
Yeah, especially obviously because technically when the person who's supposed to do the late show, technically the time to end the show is supposed to be like 3 a.m. because the first show is 3.5 hours long, so it's 8 to 11:30.
Sorry, Gary. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Just continue. I'll be back as quick as I can. I'm just I have to nip to the way. I'm jumping here. On you go, Gary.
So obviously when we do the shows, obviously the original times are supposed to be like technically 8:30 to 11:30 p.m. whoever's on first, and then whoever does the late show will go from 11:30 p.m. Technically, it's meant to be till 3 a.m. But it never ends at 3 a.m. Especially in the last 18 months or so, we have had people who just stay and they're there to the actually. Their knuckles are absolutely white as anything. They're still there. Listening to like 4, maybe even a push 5. And so we kind of go that little bit further with the shows. So whoever's on the late show has got that extra couple of hours streaming. There's more talking, more energy coming through. And obviously it says when that next night comes, pretty much floored the next day on the Saturday. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to do anything.
I wish I could have 1/10 that energy. I'll be honest, I wasn't feeling so hot before I started Storytime today, and you guys, your energy infected me and it got me through this hour. Honestly, I really do appreciate that. You woke me up.
Yeah,
and then I got to go out and get tested. Go figure.
I could have lessons. When you go, Gary.
That's what we do. We seem to do it to people because they tell us that, and we're like, "That's great. That's always nice to hear. It's always nice to hear feedback." I always personally enjoy the feedback, even if it's in a negative sense as well, because it's not like I dig at you. It's more of a listen. I thought that could have been better. And I thought, you know what? Okay, I'll work on it. You know,
yes. Sometimes you're going to get those trolls who are just going to hate everything because that's what they like to do. But when you get some constructive criticism that is helpful, you learn from it and you get better. That's the way I've taken it over the years. Of course, I've had my share of trolls too, like everybody else.
Well, exactly. It's really good because, we could be running on maybe 2-3 hours sleep, and then I'm working family life. I'm coming home, and then I'm like, at the start of the show, I'm like, how am I going to get through the night? Because to be honest, if you think about it, KFL Radio and a Friday night cast for 9 hours, that's both DJ sets put in together. Whoever gets the late shift gets right up to 4 o'clock in the morning, from 11:30 at night.
That's
so
a long time.
The person who does the late shift gets the longest hours, and then you're thinking, whoever's on the late shift, I could be very, very tired, and then I'm like, how am I going to do this? Because when you come on, you're like, ping, and then you need to bring all that energy out, and then at the early hours in the morning, you're like, I'm floored.
That adrenaline rush that gets you through a show, it just stays with you until you see the clock on the wall or the last chatter leaves, and it's like, and then you shut things down, and it's like you feel like you went 10 rounds with Mike Tyson and lost.
Oh, exactly.
I'm sorry,
But
Tyson Fury. Come on, Juan. Update your references here. It's the 21st century now.
What's the important thing? Even though you lost, you survived and you lived to see
Yep.
another day.
Absolutely. There you go.
I think the longest, Gary always pulls me up for this. I think the longest show I've ever done is 30 minutes drunk. And I asked Gary to take over.
Sure.
I tell you, when it comes to being drunk and doing something that you're supposed to be doing sober, I learned my lesson back in high school. This is confession time. I was within walking distance of high school, and I walked home for lunch, and I had an English class after lunch. And when I got home, I noticed that there was a bottle of wine in the refrigerator. And I thought, oh, who's going to know? And I took a sip, and I thought, that's not bad. And I took another sip. And I think, oh, this is really good. Then I took a third sip. It was really, really good. And completely forgot, I have to go back to school. So once I restrained myself, and there was probably just about this much wine left in the bottom of the bottle, I staggered back to school, and it was about a mile. And I went into the English class, and I sat down, and the English class was swimming. And I realized, okay, this was a mistake. I hope Mrs. Woods doesn't call on me. And sure enough, she called on me. And I stumbled through some kind of incoherent, half-hearted answer to her question. And she just gave me a look and I looked back and I saw that look at me, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in trouble. Maybe I should just go home after class, which is basically what I did. It's like, I'm no good for the rest of the day. So after that, no way. It's like, if I got to do something, I need my full faculties, stay away from the alcohol or whatever else you got, Andy. Do that after you're done.
I would say I agree, but
You're still young, Tom. You could probably shake it off more easily than I could. At least now. Back then, you think you think you're invincible. Then you realize, well, I went a little too far that time.
I think there was one time that Gary and one of our good listeners, Disco Dave, they swears down this happened. And I was drunk, and we did one casting news stream, and they swear that I headbutted the mic, that I gave it a Glasgow kiss.
Oh, that's
And
too funny.
I still don't remember it to this day. And there's a few times I've done my show drunk.
Yeah.
And the next morning, I'm asking everyone, was that an idiot? What happened? I'm asking Gaz, was it fine? Was that too little? Did I do anything stupid? Is there anything that you need to tell me? Tell me now, because I cannot remember nothing.
Yeah.
I can only remember casting to one point at a time. Next minute, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
And did the show go all right? Is everyone okay?
Are they still speaking to me?
In case.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember my friend Rick did that once. Rick used to drink beer during his casts, and he had to cut that out for health reasons. But it was kind of interesting to see the transformation from the beginning of the show when Rick was fairly sober to about 2 hours in after the third or fourth beer. And he's like, the Rolling Stones are up next, I think. Whatever, let's just play the damn thing and see what happens. And by the end of the evening, he was just like totally gone. What does this button do? And he's going to kill me if he hears about this. I would expect him to. Andy did a show drunk? No.
Yeah. Yep.
Debbie says, Andy, never forget the day Andy did a show drunk. Do we have a recording of that? I'd love to see that.
Well, I've got to admit, I do have recordings, but I'll need permission first.
Take a look and see if you got it. You could always send me a file. I don't have to put it online. Just use a WeTransfer. That'll be cool.
I think I would call Andy the Toucan Dam Man.
Right.
It's a Scottish term for 2 cans alcohol, and so 2 can Dan Man, and 2 Stellas, and he's it.
Brandon has a recording of it, but Andy has sworn him to secrecy. And Aaron used to have one. Ooh, we might have to pry some secrets loose here, huh?
WikiLeaks.
I wonder what it would take to pry that secret loose. And with his permission, he can post the link to it. There is a link, huh? So we could just go. Okay, yes, probably. Anyway, we'll leave that up to you and Andy, Brandon. Come on, work on it. Copyright, he says.
Copyright.
Oh yeah, right. Well, Brandon, talk to Andy.
One time me and Andy did a show, and he's going to play fetch with me on Friday night, and I'm not going to have any shaving foam. Because shaving foam, he asked me to put it all over my head and cold and washing up liquid, and it burnt my face for days.
Oh, jeez.
So, Andy, no shaving foam. I wouldn't have any.
That was wild that night.
That's good.
Just watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of those Andy go fetch torture tests. Hey, I think he was doing one with Brandon one time. The clip I saw, I think they were doing it to each other. Am I remembering that right? Because I do remember seeing that, and it seemed like somehow Andy was coming up with everything that Brandon asked for, and the reverse wasn't quite true. I wonder how that happened.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Maybe I don't know if Andy's ever played that in his show once, or Brandon's played it in his show. I can't remember.
I remember seeing the clip, but I can't remember on whose show it was. I'm thinking it might have been Brandon's show, but it's possible it could have been Andy's. It's possible. Because I remember, but I could be wrong. Again, I'm 65 years old. A lot of brain cells are gone. And Tom will give you a kiss. Debbie says, if you share that tape with the world.
Well, definitely, Andy. I'll give you a kiss, good boy.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Let's go. Pucker up.
Oh, man. This is too good. So should we just talk all the way through the NFL stuff? So we don't have to do that for the people who will be disappointed, like me.
No. We're happy to let you continue your last hour of the show, but
well, I do appreciate this. This has been loads of fun, and like I said, way beyond my expectations. I knew it was going to be good. I didn't think it would be this good. You guys have been great, absolutely great. I really appreciate the stories, the sharing, and looking forward to the big show on the 20th. And I will be there when I can get there. Hopefully this thing I'm doing on Friday won't take too long, and I'll be back quickly. So
I'll be good to see you all, and hope to see you all Friday night. And we'll try and make it our best night of our lives. And that's my last words. You got any last words, Gary, before we get Andy and beat him up?
There you go.
Just to kind of repeat what Tom was saying, we hope to just deliver the best show we can possibly give you guys on Friday, because it is a special occasion. It is 2 years on Cam Up, and it kind of rings in with the fact that we didn't really do a sort of a anniversary show this year for our 11 years in total of Cool Flow / your Scottish radio when we started off, but so it kind of rounds into one, but we'll obviously just do it on the one platform on Friday, and I'm just looking forward to just seeing everybody, watching the chat, seeing how many people, other people that came in. It's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to just do it and just give it our best and give it. Let's go.
There you go. That's what we needed. All right. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for sharing all the stuff. And like I said, I am looking forward to the anniversary bash. I will get there a little late, but I'm going to get there. Thanks again, guys. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you all. Thank you both. All right. And we'll see you.
See you later.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Okay. There we go. Okay. Let me bring myself back full screen here.